Hey guys, this is probably an overly ambitious video for me to be filming right now in the afternoon on Friday, but I'm going to go ahead and try. In this video, I'm going to show you basically an overview of 3 different secular asterisk curriculums, and the reason I say asterisk is because people in certain secular groups say that one or two of the options I'm going to show you, for whatever reason, aren't perfectly secular. Whatever, they're pretty secular. Do your own research. That being said, we're going to start with Build Your Library, and these are all 7th grade options that I'm going to show you. So if you go onto the Build Your Library website, there is a very generous sample of the curriculum available there, and she does give you access to the book lists and the first week lesson plan. The only other caveat I want to say is this is a prior version of the curriculum. So some of the things I'm going to show you have changed, but I feel that I'm going to give you a pretty general overview so that it still kind of applies. So one of the documents that's available in the sample, and like I said, this is outdated. It doesn't look like this anymore. This is the weekly overview. So as you can see, you've got the week planned out for you, similar to many other curriculums on the market, including one I'm going to be showing you. And you have geography work, poetry, literature, a reader, which is literature, but it's a reader because I think you're supposed to read this aloud with your student, science, and then a language arts assignment, an art assignment, and world religions, because this year is called Year of World Geography. So we use this curriculum independently when my daughter did it for 7th grade, and so you can see she would check off what she did for the day. So I don't have all of the books with me here, but I do have most of them. The way that this curriculum works is you're working on a particular continent or geographical area at a time, and you're reading books from that area. And there's an extensive list of books that you could get. So that's why I don't have them all here, but I just wanted to show you some of them. And these generally are like modern books. I don't think there's any like old classics. There may be some. But they're living books. This is a Charlotte Mason style curriculum. Emily, who is the creator of this curriculum, really does an extensive, in-depth job at finding resources for the students to read, and she's constantly making updates, which is why this version we did has since been updated. And you really are getting very interesting, engaging, new contemporary books with this Build Your Library, and it's literature based, obviously. So the one thing I'll say as a warning is some of these books do have like some content that you may not want your students to read, but if you go into the Build Your Library Facebook group, there's a lot of discussion about it, and I found it really helpful. Like they would say, don't do these chapters, or this book has that. It's not a common issue, but there are some books, and that's because these are dealing with modern issues, and those things are happening. It's not like she's just trying to shove stuff in there. It's just because you're learning about modern issues that are happening in certain parts of the world. This book, I'm not sure if it's from this or a different one, but I think it is because it's on the same shelf. So literature based, very good. You have a geography assignment. There's vocabulary. There are discussion questions. The science that used to be assigned was the chemistry for the logic stage, and this is by Elemental Press. And you have, I don't remember if the lesson plan's in here. So this is what your lesson plan looks like. And you have 2 spines for this, which is the intranet linked science encyclopedia, which if you've used Usborne before, these are, pretty standard format. So you read something from here, and then you have the Usborne Illustrated Dictionary of Science. So this is going to be where you get your definitions for things. And these different things are assigned in, or were assigned in the Build Your Library. So it's now a zoology, but I believe it's also an Usborne encyclopedia. And if you follow this, it tells you, do this experiment. Here's the supplies you need. Read this, then do that. And you have a student notebook, which is, I think, in here. Let me see. So you do this, type of stuff. And we did more notebooking, so I don't have it all in here, but you could see there's some work. So in the Build Your Library, you have whichever science it is. Now it's zoology. It used to be chemistry assigned in there. And then you have, I think I've already sold geography through art, but you do these different art projects based on different parts of the world. And then there's a world religions book, which I will get to in the next curriculum I'm going to show you. But the reason that I had picked this was because my student was really interested in like different world religions and world cultures and things like that. And so I thought it would be interesting for her, and it was, and she liked it. So that is kind of an overview for Build Your Library. Very brief, of course. And also I want to say that Emily's very reachable. Like if you ever have questions or need a clarification, or if you have an issue with your file, she's very reachable. So I actually don't know where my world religion encyclopedia went, but it has a child on the front of it, and it talks about the different religions, and it looks like this. This is also one of the spine texts, and I have this because this is part of the Moving Beyond the Page 7th grade, which I'm going to shift into talking about now. So, have limited space on this table. Moving Beyond the Pages 7th grade is kind of similar to Build Your Library in that it goes all over the world. So these are the literature guides that are assigned. I only have the first semester, so I have already unboxed this if you want to go watch that video and see everything that's included. But this is the literature, and so I've discussed before, this is like a fully comprehensive language arts thing that you do. And I think this book might also be assigned in Build Your Library. So you have your literature thing that you're doing that comes with the reader, which I think I have here. So Single Shard, Girl Named Disaster. I think that's all I have here. I've gotten my things all mixed up. So you read the book, you do the work, that's your language arts. And Moving Beyond the Page also has the printable lesson plan thing for the week. So if you want it to tell you exactly what to do, or your student what to do, that is definitely an option. So this is the first semester. I showed you the literature. Now I will show you the science. So this is a fully integrated curriculum, meaning that you get assigned, and it's also with the literature. So when you're doing the hydrosphere, you're doing Egypt and Mesopotamia and the Pearl. So, for example, Egypt and Mesopotamia, this is the book, Ancient Civilizations. You read it, then you do an assignment in, this is the student, or there's only one book, but it's the student book, or you can print it out and do it in their notebook. So you do one of those a day. Then you do the Pearl, which, is this the Pearl? This is the hydrosphere. So you do the hydrosphere. These are the books that are assigned for it. And then you do, let me see what I could show you. Sorry for the delay. Okay, whatever. You do the Pearl, which is your literature. You do the hydrosphere, and then you do Egypt and Mesopotamia. So this is how it works. Like in a day, you're doing this. I did not use these all integratedly, so I can't tell you what the proper time, what's the word, allocation goes. But if you go, like I said, on the website and print out the lesson plan, you'll have a better idea. Oh, sorry, allergies are getting me. And then, as always, you have the summary of the skills at the end. So if you're following the Moving Beyond the Page setup, this is your first unit. Then let's look, what's your second unit? Atmosphere, Africa Today, and Girl Named Disaster. Africa Today, Atmosphere, and Girl Named Disaster is your second unit. And the atmosphere, let's see what books. Sorry, I'm not more organized. I was just really trying to rush to get this filmed, and there's a lot of moving parts over here. Okay, so you use the Painless Earth Science for the atmosphere. So you're using this book again. And let's clear out. And then when you're doing Africa today, you're using Ancient Civilizations and the Geography of the World books, which I showed you already. So that's your second thing that you're doing. Next, you're doing the Lithosphere, Australia and Oceania, and the Hobbit. So Australia and Oceania. What did I say? The Lithosphere, is that right? Yes, and for Australia and Oceania, you are using probably this book, which is colorful and engaging. And let's see, the Geography of the World book. So it looks like you're using the Geography of the World book for most of the history, which is consistent with this geographical overview. And then you're using Painless Earth Science for the Lithosphere. And then at that same time, you're reading The Hobbit, which I'm sure everybody watching this knows what's up with The Hobbit. And then next, Ecosystems and Ecology, Ancient Asia, and the Single Shard. Ancient Asia. So there's Ancient Asia and Asia Today. So first you do Ancient Asia, which is consistent with a Single Shard, which is based in the past. Oh, so then you're doing the Geography of the World book. And then you're using Life in Ancient China, Life in Ancient Japan, Life in the Indus River Valley. And these are kind of like Usborne books, except not as thick. You know, they're more approachable. And you're doing, what did we say? Earth Cycles and Systems.